And yeah, so Mr. Chair Abongwa took the courage to write this book, and I think, yeah. So today I would like to ask Mr. Abongwa to explain to us a little bit what that is about, and then after that we will go to different parts of today's presentation. So let him first of all give us.
Okay, thank you very much to having me here. So let me just go straight to that without wasting your time. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and thank you for being here to mark this special occasion, the launch of my book, Behind Closed Doors, Male Experience of Domestic Violence in the Age of Denial. It is no coincidence that we gather during this Christmas season, a time filled with messages of love, reconciliation, and forgiveness. And it is no coincidence, yet again, that we gather in a church surrounded by people of faith across gender lines. Your presence here today is a testament to your courage and willingness to confront a topic that many would prefer to avoid: male victimization in domestic violence. I salute your bravery and your commitment to eradicating violence in all its forms. When I began writing this book, I didn't anticipate launching it in a church. Yet, by His grace, we are gathered here today. To many believers, these moments can be seen as a sign of divine purpose, a reminder that God is a Father of love, peace, and protection. Domestic violence stands in stark contrast to these values and to His vision for humanity. In this season of Christmas, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, the embodiment of love and hope for humanity. Just last Sunday, the Reverend Father reminded us of the true meaning of Christmas: a time to embrace love, reconciliation, and forgiveness. But while we celebrate, there are those who cannot experience the joy of this season because their lives are overshadowed by violence and fear. For those enduring the horrors of domestic violence, Christmas is not a time of joy. Instead of love, they feel fear. Instead of reconciliation, they face rejection. And instead of peace, they endure pain. Our homes have been turned into houses of horrors, not sanctuaries of peace as they once were. You may wonder how widespread this issue truly is. Consider these shocking statistics. In the United States alone, 27 people are victimized every minute, including on Christmas Day. In New Zealand, the police respond to a domestic violence incident every 3 minutes, including on Christmas Day. In Cameroon, my home country, 40% of men and 40% of women are victims of domestic violence, also on Christmas Day. In Germany, 1 in 6 men are victims of domestic violence, again on Christmas Day also. These are not just numbers, they are lives. They are stories of people suffering in silence, often unnoticed, and even when noticed, ignored and ridiculed. In Behind Closed Doors, you will read about countless men who have suffered the pain of domestic violence. These men are not weak. They are humans, like you and me. Yet when they seek help, they are often met with ridicule, denial, and blame at every single turn. The issue is systemic and global. In England, there are 227 shelters for women, but only 58 for men. In Germany, there are 380 shelters for women, but only 15 for men. In much of Africa, men are not even included in domestic violence surveys. And while numerous international conventions, such as the Istanbul Convention, exist to address violence against women, no similar framework exists for men. Even though men and women experience domestic violence at similar rates. Some researchers have called this stark imbalance a gender apartheid. What message does this send to men and boys experiencing violence? What does Christmas truly mean for them? To them, Christmas means a gender caste system. Domestic violence is not a women's issue or a men's issue. It is a human rights issue. Recognizing the victimization of men does not diminish the struggles women face. On the contrary, it strengthens the fight against violence in all its forms. For example, in New Zealand, gender-inclusive legislation has improved the safety of everyone, men, women, and children alike. In the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of Christmas calls us to see the humanity in each other, to embrace those in pain, and to offer them hope. To ignore the suffering of men is to betray this spirit. In this book, you will read stories that will break your heart. Stories like Earl Silverman's from Canada, a man who escaped an abusive marriage but was met with systemic denial and lack of support. Tragically, Earl eventually took his own life. You will also read about Denis from Australia and Tami Weissenberg from Germany, men who endured tremendous pain in silence. You will encounter stories of boys under the age of 14, repeatedly raped by women 3 times their age. When we deny male victimization, including sexual violence against men, because they are, quote, strong, we also deny these men and their children the appropriate support that they need. This denial feeds into what has been described by many institutions as the epidemic of fatherlessness, with cascading effects on us all. Consider again this shocking statistic. Children who experience such horrors are 279% more likely to deal in drugs, carry a gun, and end up in jail. Talking about gun violence. These men and boys are not just statistics. They live among us, within us, they come from us. Their pain is real and their suffering is unjust. Why does this denial persist? It is driven by outdated gender stereotypes. From cradle to grave, boys are repeatedly told they must be strong. To recognize male victimization challenges the belief that men are too strong to be targets of domestic violence and undermine patriarchal ideas that equate victimhood with weakness. This tension is resolved by denying male victimization altogether. But as we deny their suffering, we also deny their humanity. Without support, men are 5 times more likely to commit suicide, abuse substances, and more. This is the fate of hundreds of thousands, going into the millions of men, Earl Silverman being just one of them. So, what can we do to end this denial? The caste system, the gender apartheid. In Behind Closed Doors, I propose several solutions. Firstly, recognize that trauma responses like self-defense, fight, fleeing from danger, flight, or confusion, freeze, are universal human reactions to danger. They are not markers of guilt, but indication of harm. Secondly, embrace Martin Luther King's dream that we judge people not by race or other characteristics like gender, but by the content of their character. Thirdly, therefore, support services must be universal and inclusive, much like healthcare. As the World Health Organization has noted, domestic violence is a public health crisis that infringes on our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Fourthly, implement restorative justice. Addressing the root causes of domestic violence by holding perpetrators accountable while offering rehabilitation. Fifthly, advocate for more research into male victimization to better understand and address their unique challenges. As we celebrate this Christmas season, let us reflect on the true meaning of love, reconciliation, and forgiveness. Let us extend these values to everyone, regardless of gender. By purchasing this book, you are not just supporting a writer. Of course, I appreciate. You are supporting a cause. You are giving a voice to the voiceless, shining a light on the stories hidden in darkness, and standing up for justice. Let this season be a time of hope for all, women, men, and children alike. Together, we can ensure that no one suffers in silence and everyone can experience the true joy of Christmas. Thank you all, and may God bless you.
No. Okay, so thank you for the resume. Really rich in words and actions as well. So let's just move directly to the questions and answers. So if you have any questions, please just pose it, and Mr. Chair will give an answer to your question. So the floor is open. Do you have any questions? No questions?
Well, I don't have a question, but
Okay.
I think you did a good job. And these things are things that is the truth. And we are happy.